Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and to include extraneous material on S-442, the bill now under consideration.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Transition Authorization Act of 2017. This bipartisan and bicameral bill grew to maturity through many long and serious discussions about the future of our nation's space program. I'm encouraged by the bill's persistent emphasis on the continuity of purpose and stability. It is crucial that we continue to support NASA's ongoing human exploration efforts. I am proud to note the inclusion of the To Research, Evaluate, Assess, and Treat Astronauts Act, better known as the Treat Astronauts Act, which will ensure that our nation's astronauts receive support for medical issues associated with their service. The language of this bill is exactly the same as the Treat Astronauts Act that was passed in the House on December the 7th, 2016. As a medical professional myself, I care deeply about this issue. I am honored to have sponsored the original legislation and am proud to contribute to an important program that will support the brave men and women of our astronaut corps. Outer space poses many medical challenges. The human body simply is not designed to thrive in microgravity or weightlessness. We know that spending time in space is risky. We want to understand the reasons why. The Treat Astronauts Act will ensure the retention of our astronauts' medical data and help to continue our research in aerospace medicine, while also providing our astronauts with the medical care that they need and deserve after risking so much in service to our country. This bill continues support for the important work on the Space Launch System, the Orion Crew Vehicle, and commercial cargo and crew programs. The future of the International Space Station is another key topic addressed in this legislation. We are committed to operating the ISS until 2024. Beyond that date, however, maintaining NASA's current level of support for the ISS will dramatically affect the rest of NASA's portfolio, particularly in human spaceflight. This bill opens the debate about how and under what circumstances NASA's presence in low Earth orbit can or should be continued beyond 2024. Balancing NASA's presence in low Earth orbit and beyond low Earth orbit will require thoughtful and informed decision-making. My hope is that NASA will explore unique partnerships that will maintain NASA's ability to utilize low Earth orbit in an efficient manner by leveraging private sector investment. This bill will help inform and frame that imminent debate. This bill also addresses NASA's facilities and infrastructure here on Earth. NASA must develop a plan so that its labs, tools, facilities, and infrastructure can support a robust exploration agenda. Right-sizing NASA's footprint is a long-standing challenge. We must maintain critical capabilities, but also find efficiencies where they may exist. The bill before us would call on NASA to develop a policy to ensure that NASA maintains infrastructure to support bold exploration. If NASA determines that facilities are not necessary or could be transferred to the private sector, the bill calls on NASA to do so in accordance with a transparent and equitable process. The bill also urges the administration to pursue a sensible policy on termination liability so that NASA makes the best possible use of taxpayer dollars rather than the inefficient policy implemented by the previous administration. This bill sets out clear intentions for NASA as we move forward into the next chapter of American space exploration. I invite my colleagues to join me in supporting this very important bill and reserve the balance of my time.